It is a hot July day in 2014. The sun is hitting the pavement. People are heading to the park or the beach. They are packing their old plastic coolers. Those big boxes just sit there and hold ice. A man named Ryan Grepper looked at that box and saw something else. He saw a party. He saw a machine that could do everything. Well, this is an insane story about that machine. It was called the Coolest Cooler. It became a huge success on Kickstarter. Everyone wanted one. It had a blender on top for frozen drinks. It had a speaker on the side for music. You could charge your phone right from the battery. It had big wheels for the sand. It had a light inside the lid for when it got dark. It had a cutting board and a bottle opener. It even had a magnetic cap catcher. It was a 55-quart beast meant to change how people spent time outside. The price was $185. That seemed like a steal. If you tried to buy all those things separate, it would cost way more. Ryan was a guy from Oregon who knew what people liked. He had tried this before though. Back in 2013, he launched the same idea, but it failed. Nobody cared back then. He only wanted $125,000, but he did not get it. I think he realized he needed to show it better to win you over. So he went back to work. He made it look better. He made a video that showed people laughing. It showed the blender making drinks. It showed the speaker blasting music. It looked like the future. This time it worked. It did more than work. It went viral. Every news site was talking about it. The money started pouring in. It passed $1 million, then $5 million, then $10 million. By the time it closed, it had $13.3 million. Over 60,000 people gave him money. You have to look at how big that was for a website like Kickstarter. It was the biggest year they ever had. Ryan was the king of the site. He promised to ship them in 7 months. That was February 2015. Everyone was ready for the best summer ever. The features were the big draw. Most coolers are just insulation and plastic. But this was different. The blender was powered by an 18-volt battery. I can see why people loved the idea of making margaritas at the beach. The speaker was waterproof. It could be taken out and used on its own. The USB ports were there so your phone would not die while playing music. The lid had a light so you could find your drink at night. It even had storage for plates and a knife. It was a portable kitchen. You could roll it anywhere because the wheels were wide and strong. The marketing called it a party in a box. The value was what really drove the numbers. Ryan said the retail price would be $300 later on. Getting it for $185 felt like a smart move. People were not just buying a product. They were backing a dream. They wanted to be part of the crowd that made this happen. The comment section was full of joy. People were talking about their plans for next summer. They were talking about boat trips and camping. I remember seeing the count go up every minute. It felt like nothing could stop it. Ryan was doing interviews on big news shows. He was being called a genius. He said he had done his homework this time. He said the design was ready for production. He had suppliers lined up. He had the plan. You could feel the energy behind the project. It was a global phenomenon. People from all over the world sent their money to Oregon. They waited for their shipping emails, and February 2015 was the date. It was going to be the start of something big. Now the reviews were coming in early. A few lucky people got their units first. They were happy. One guy from a fishing website said it was amazing. He said it blew away his expectations. He liked the blender. He liked the magnets that held the bottle caps. He said it worked great in the Florida heat. You could watch videos of these people using the cooler, and it looked perfect. CNN gave it a good review too. They said the design was smart. They liked the features. They did say $500 was too much for the store price, but they liked the cooler itself. Another person liked the build quality. They said it felt heavy and strong. The blender worked as promised. The speaker was loud enough for a small party. People were posting pictures of their coolers on social media. They were the envy of their friends. I saw people asking where they could get one. It looked like Ryan had done it. He had taken a failed idea and turned it into a massive win. The early units proved the concept was real. It was not just a drawing. It was a real physical object that worked. Backers who were still waiting felt good. They saw the pictures and they knew their turn was coming. The delay to July 2015 did not seem too bad. Ryan said he was adding more features for free. You would be happy to wait a few more months for a better product. He framed it as a gift to the backers. He was making the battery better. He was making the motor stronger. It felt like the company cared about quality. They wanted to make sure every unit was perfect. The communication was still good back then. Ryan was posting updates. He was showing the factory. He was showing the parts. It looked like a normal business growing fast. I think everyone believed the coolers would be on their porches by the end of the year. It was the golden age of the project. Well, it turns out the math did not work. Behind the scenes, things were falling apart. The first sign of trouble was the February delay. Then July came and went. Most people still had nothing. By August 2015, only a small group of backers had their coolers. Ryan started saying shipping a cooler is hard. He said it is not like mailing a letter. Then the truth started to leak out. A report later showed the design was a mess for factories. There were too many parts. There were too many sub-assemblies. It required too much hand assembly. This meant they could not make them fast enough. It also meant they were too expensive to build. Each cooler cost more to make than the $185 people paid. With 62,000 units to make, the math was a disaster. They had $13.3 million, but they needed way more. They were losing money on every single box they shipped. Then Ryan made a move that turned the backers into an angry mob. He started selling the cooler on Amazon for $499. You can imagine how that felt if you were still waiting for yours. New customers could get one in 2 days if they paid the high price. Original backers who paid a year ago were told to wait. Ryan said the Amazon money was needed to keep the factory running. He said it would help ship the rest. But the backers did not care. They flooded Amazon with 1-star reviews. They called it a scam. They called Ryan a liar. The trust was gone. So he tried another plan to get money. He told backers they could pay $97 more for expedited shipping. He said if you paid the extra money, you would get your cooler right away. Yes, this felt like a ransom. People had already paid $185. Now they were being asked to pay almost $300 total just to get what they were promised. Some people were so desperate they paid it. Others were furious. One backer even posted the home addresses of the employees. People were being harassed. The Facebook page became a place for screaming. The Oregon Department of Justice started to look into the company. They wanted to know where the $13.3 million went. They wanted to know why people were not getting their products. Ryan had to stay quiet because of the legal investigation. The company went silent for months. I think that silence makes the anger even worse for backers. In 2017, they reached a deal with the state. They had 3 more years to ship the units. They had to pay $20 to people who never got a cooler by 2020. It was a slow motion crash. Now we get to the final blow. In 2019, Ryan sent out one last update. He said the company was closing down for good. He blamed the trade war. He said tariffs on parts from China made it impossible to continue. The margins were already gone, and the extra tax killed the business. The final numbers were grim. About 20,000 people got nothing. They lost all their money. Over 7,000 people got a tiny $20 payment. That is not even 15% of what they spent. The rest got nothing at all. $13.3 million was gone. The most funded project of the year was now a total failure. The website went dark. The social media stopped. Ryan disappeared from the public eye. The party in a cooler was over. If you were one of the people who lost money, I would love to hear from you. Subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on my next video.